Hey, here we are.
All right, guys. Sorry. Welcome to the episode number 4 of On Another Line. My name is Tyler Waller.
And I'm Josh Bryant.
Thanks you guys for sticking with us here on the episode number 4. First and foremost, I want to say that if you guys share this video right now, I don't care if you shared it before, if you share this thing again, we're going to give away this Hoorag at some point, either later this evening or first thing in the morning. If you shared it before, you want to share it again, great. It'll be 2 to 3 shares. If you share it 14 times, I'll put your name in there 14 times. I don't care. We're trying to get as many people on here as we can. And again, that thing's going to be going out. Hoorag's one of my sponsors, and they're the best seamless bandanas or buffs, if you will, on the market. And we're going to put one on your face, hopefully. So, Josh, what we got going for them tonight?
Tonight we're going to talk about GoPros, some videoing, some editing software, alternatives to the GoPro. And also, we're going to talk about hooks. And we're going to talk about a few updates from the last episode so that we can, have, just keep everybody updated what we're doing, how we got things going on. And also, we're going to have James Block from JB's Fish Sauce. He's going to come on and talk about his company. That's one of mine, Tyler's sponsors. So make sure you guys can ask questions. James is a cool dude. He's an excellent guy, and I think you guys will really enjoy him hearing his story and how he all got started.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we talked about sponsorship and getting sponsored there on the last episode, and we had some good response from that. But we're going to continually start bringing in some of my sponsors, Josh and I sponsors. We had Landon Bloomer from Angler there a few weeks ago, and the audio was kind of messed up. So we're definitely going to bring him back in and give him his fair share of getting out to our audience.
But we got that fixed now.
Dude. This audio is legit. I hope you guys are hearing as good as we are here. If you guys could comment and let us know there that you guys are actually hearing the audio, I would appreciate it. And again, share the video out. I want to try to get as many people in here as possible. And again, we want to try to answer any of your questions that you possibly have. And if I don't know the answer, I'm good at making stuff up.
How about you, Tyler Akers? How you feeling, buddy? I see you there watching, man. Hope you're doing good after that terrible accident.
Yeah, I got Larry Slack on there too. It's sad to see you down there, Tyler. We gotta get you back up and going before the fishing season start. But we're going to get right into it. We're not going to waste your time. The very first thing we're going to talk about is action cameras and fishing or videoing yourself while you're on the water and how to get that footage from the GoPro onto your computer. And then once you get that onto your computer, what happens then? Are we going to, is it just going to sit there? Is it going to be in a hard drive? We're going to try to walk you through a little bit of my back end of things. My post-production is what it's called. And I'm showing you exactly how an episode of Fishing with Tyler goes from on the water through the editing process and into YouTube.
Yeah, first of all, we're going to talk about a few of the GoPros. Everybody knows GoPro, right? They got all kinds of different models, and you can get them offline on
Amazon.
You can get them off of the Facebook Marketplace, whatever you can get them on. And I'm going to show you a few of them here that we have with us today.
And GoPros, guys, they go from a lot of different ranges. I mean, you can get a Hero Session for, I think they're not cheap in the GoPro market. I think the cheapest one you can get is $99, which is the Hero Session there. If you want to show them the Session, it'll be one of those deals. This is a GoPro Hero Session right here. This is the most user-friendly GoPro that they have. It's the easiest one to use, and again, if you look at the very top of it there is a button. There's one button on the very top of it there. That is the power button and the record button all in one. And the way there's just a small LCD there on the top. You press the button one time. You can go and turn it on there, Josh. It should be charged. You just press it one time. It'll beep, and it could be, so as you can see there, it comes on, and it automatically becomes recording. It's not going to record now because there's not an SD card in there. But the cool thing about the Hero Sessions and the newer GoPros is that they're 100% natively waterproof, which means that you don't have to have an external or exoskeleton housing to make them waterproof. You can put that thing on a on a selfie stick or something, sock that thing right in the water, and you're never going to see anything different about that. One thing that you're going to see on that, again, is the lower end of things, is that you have a lack of functionality. When I say lack of functionality, I'm just saying, like, you can't change many of the settings. It's just a point, shoot, you press the button, it records, you press the button, it stops, and then immediately goes off.
The good thing about that one is it's a lot lighter, and I know I've seen a lot of the pros, they wear them on their hats, and if you wanted to have that show, most of them make the headband that goes around and mounts on your head, to get that point of view, and that's what you want. It's cool, man. Reliving stuff is fun, and it's also sad at the same time.
yeah. I want to show you guys some footage here when I talk about video editing of Josh. That he wishes he could forget. And me too. It was
I got a good story behind it though, man.
Yeah, it was a good story. But and one thing about this session is here, it has a case. It's called the frame, but it goes in there, and that's what gives you the option to connect it to, like Josh says, like a chesty mount. This is where I wear something like this that's on my chest, so you can get that angle. And again, you can get a hat mount here for a GoPro session. And these things, like I said, are the cheapest ones, but they're by no means, junk or really cheap. These things work really, really, really well. And the one thing that you don't have with this is a screen. You're not going to have an LCD screen that you can see or frame your shots. But the cool thing about GoPros are that there's a free app with GoPro. If you buy, you don't even have to have a GoPro. You can download the app for free, and you can actually, through Bluetooth, connect to this and see from your smartphone actually what's going on the screen.
Actually, when I first got mine, I put it on my oldest daughter and let her run up at the M&M slides, and it kind of made me sick watching it, 'cause I was like, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool, seeing stuff from them.
What's up, DJ? We got Frog in there coming with us. Shane Raider, brother. Nice boat. James Clark there. Misty's watching us. Hope you guys are having fun out there.
Yeah.
But I started back when the very first GoPro I bought and started filming stuff was way back in the day when the GoPro 3 come out, the Hero 3. And the thing about that is that GoPro, not a lot of people know what happens with GoPro is they used to be what they made was this 35 millimeter housing that you could put an actual camera in, and it would it would keep it waterproof, so you could take pictures. And that's back in early 2000s, and then it just kept going and going and going to where we are now, which right now the most fancy GoPro that they have out now is called the GoPro Fusion. I don't have one, so GoPro, if you're listening out there, we'd love to try one out. They're $700. They're like $699 or something crazy. But what they are, they're a 360-degree GoPro. They have an offset lens on both sides of the thing, so when you're videoing or actually taking a photo. Let's see if I can find something here. Josh, if you show them that GoPro 6 and talk about it really quick.
Yeah, let me show them the 4 real quick first. Okay, this right here is the Hero 4, and basically all it is the it's a little, I guess I'm gonna call it a stripped down version now, just because of all the other stuff they can do.
Well, I mean, that's the black. That one's still pretty legit camera.
But the quality is great from it. And then also, this is what Tyler's talking about here. This here is the Hero 6, which is identical to my 5. So that's why we didn't bring them both. It's got a screen on the front here.
Alright guys, sorry, I figured out that if I am typing and I hit a quick hotkey here, it's going to transition on me, so stick with me. Sorry, I'm going to fix that really quick. So go ahead, Josh, sorry.
But as this is Hero 6 here, and what it does is it has a screen on it. Let me see if it'll turn on here. So you can actually see exactly, what that it's recording. That's your quick record there. So actually,
I don't think it's on.
I don't know, is it?
It's on. It should be.
Oh. Maybe I'm on the wrong button. What's up with this? All right, there we go. Now we're back. Okay, as I was saying, this Hero 6, and as you can see, it's already recording. But it has the little better picture as far as the things. It actually, if you're in the front, you can make sure it's recording from up here. And also, it's got the quick record, which is if you're having fishing or you don't want to keep recording, and because there's a lot of battery, man, these things eat the battery up, and we have some solutions to fix the battery. But this is a great camera. Most of the parts are replaceable. It's waterproof like this, but you have to go back here. But it's waterproof just like it is, except whenever we have to power them up and we have to they run hours and hours and hours and we're doing the looping, and it's pretty cool, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't see what's on the backside of things when it comes to an episode with Fishing with Tyler. Guys, I'm going to show you really quickly here. This is a GoPro Fusion action camera. The Fusion here actually will take a 360-degree image, and I'm going to swap this out really quick for an image that it was taken from a video with the GoPro Fusion, and it will absolutely blow your mind. It does me anyway. So if you look at that, that's totally 360 degrees, and this was taken from one GoPro Fusion and laced together with their GoPro software, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But again, these things are they're $700, and with good reason. They do a lot of different stuff. But that's the GoPro Fusion and the what it can offer there. But as I said before, I got to the point where I used a GoPro Hero 3. That was the very first thing that I did when it come down to what we did. Where I started was a GoPro Hero 3, and it shot at 720p, which we're going to talk about resolutions in just a second. But now we're getting up into where the GoPro Fusion 6 and even the Hero 6 and the Hero 5 will shoot 4K video, and now that Fusion shoots like 5.2K, and there's now cinematic cameras that shoot 8, even 12K video.
But your eyes can only process so much. I know.
Well, you can, but it just depends on what you're going on there.
Right.
So hey, Garrett, what's up, buddy? So everybody, like I said, so one thing I'm going to show you guys here is, how do you get the information from a GoPro onto your computer, and what do you do it, then? So all of these GoPros, they run on a lithium-ion battery, depending on what one you're talking about. That has a bottom door here, and the battery goes in there. But as Josh said, one of the biggest things that I've come into contact with when you want to shoot footage from your boat is that the batteries on these things are not that great, because let's face it, these things are really small. They're made that way. You don't want to take up a lot of space. The 6 has an LCD screen on the back of it here that will allow you to see what's going on while you're recording and all that stuff. So it eats battery. So Josh and I had to come up with, you can see the LCD there, but we had to come up with a different solution. Well, last year what I did was run a long USB cable from my charge port on my boat, or my cigarette lighter there, and actually powered it through like a 20-foot USB cable, which is great. One thing about it is you have to watch your feet, because I put a pole in my back deck for my seats, and it was 6 foot tall, and I had a 20-foot cable, and everything was good. But jumping in between that and the live wells and stuff, you had to watch your feet so you didn't get tripped up. So we, are going to try to do something a little bit different this year to run some cables there. But one of the biggest things that we saw is that when you're wearing these GoPros on your body, you're constantly changing batteries.
Yeah. That happened to us at the November fishing trip there. We went.
Yeah, we went down to try to catch some sauger, and apparently we're not Aaron Strickland.
Yeah. He's a lot better.
Yeah, but anyway, back here, we were having a hard time figuring out how to power these things for long periods of time. Because here's the thing: I watched a video with G-Man. You guys can go out and figure it out and find it. He starts talking about the YoloTech Power Stick, which is a T&H Marine product, super awesome if you're looking to get into the market of actually filming your own either hunts or filming fishing trips. The YoloTech Power Stick is amazing. What happens is it fits in the back of your navigation light port on your boat, powers the GoPro all day. You don't have to worry about changing batteries. So that's one option. But Gerald Swindle says it's almost, there's two lines, or there's one line. You can be a pro fisherman, or you could be a YouTuber, or you can be a video content producer. He believes that you cannot straddle that line and be one or the other. I see where he's coming from, because trust me, guys, on this side of things, putting together this stuff and the Fishing with Tyler stuff, it is hours upon hours upon hours of video, right, and setting things up and making sure you have everything right and checking the lights and checking audio content and everything. But I'm trying to be that guy that Gerald Swindle 10 years from now is like, wait, that one video, well, Waller done it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Fletcher and Hunter Shryock are doing it now, in my opinion. They do a really good job. Brandon Polnick does some really good stuff too. But one of the things is, like I said, we couldn't figure out how to power these things, especially body-mounted ones, so we could fish for long hours at a time, because that's what I was getting to. If you're constantly having to change batteries in these GoPros, and guys, there's sometimes we got 5 GoPros on the boat and different locations, different angles, when one goes dead and you go change the battery and you fish for 10 or 15 minutes, well, the other 4 are going to go dead within a matter of minutes between that. And you wouldn't believe the amount of time that it takes you to change those batteries. Multiplied over the day, you may cut yourself out of an hour of fishing doing that stuff. Right. So that's one thing we had to figure it out. So
maybe we can hire somebody to stay on the boat with us and do personal
applications are being taken now for cameraman. But this is a 11,000 milliamp battery backup. You would see these for your cell phones. It has 2 USB ports on the bottom here. It also has a micro USB port for the charging of this thing. And what's so cool about this thing is it actually has a solar panel built into it. So you throw this thing on the deck of your boat. One thing about it, this thing will not charge itself from dead to full with the solar panel. It just doesn't put enough output out, but it will keep your battery charged throughout the day if you're just using it here and there, or if it's halfway charged, you can get that. But what's so really cool about this thing, first off, it's $20 on Amazon. It's waterproof.
Yeah.
And the real cool thing about this, Josh and I done a scientific test, and just to show you what happened was we set this thing up in front of a clock. And I had all the settings on. I had the this 5 and 6 have voice commands on it, so you can say like GoPro stop or GoPro record, GoPro take photo, and it'll do all of that stuff. But it's constantly listening for those commands, so it cuts the battery life down. So also, this is Wi-Fi capable and Bluetooth capable. So I had all 3 of those settings on. I plugged the cable into it, run it directly to this thing with a full battery charge, and it lasted 4.5 hours. So, I mean...
Well, that's an improvement over...
Yeah, I mean, because you're looking at about
an hour.
About 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what you're running. And the weather, guys, weather changes these things, too. If it's really hot or really cold, you're going to get less usage, too. But, so what I did was I was kind of, heartbroken, because, $20 is not that much, but I figured that I could get longer than 4 hours out of it, so... I started looking around on there and realized that it is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and the voice commands. I'll never use a voice command because here's the deal, guys. It's not like Siri where it learns your voice. If there's 20 of these around here and you say GoPro photo, all 20 of them will take a photo. It's not like, it doesn't learn your voice. But what I did was I turned all that stuff off, done the exact same thing, and this thing lasted almost 13 hours. 13 hours. That's not having to touch it. That's not having to do it. That's just put it on your chest or put it on your head and actually fishing your heart out, which is amazing. So, I picked that thing up on Amazon. Like I said, it's 11,000 milliamp battery pack.
20,000.
Actually, sorry, it's a 20,000 milliamp hours, I think is what that is.
Yeah, milliamp hours.
Milliamp hours. So 20,000 MHz. Oh yeah, if you get lost, there's a compass on the back. But again, it's waterproof. I wouldn't really trust it dunking in the water. I probably would be okay if it was raining on it. I would be okay with that. But it did. It lasted 12 hours, which is really cool, and it really ups the production. So, Josh, you're more of an amateur user of GoPro. What was it like when you very first bought your GoPro? What did you think about it?
Well, I mean, it's just crazy seeing stuff from a point of view that you couldn't, relive in life, I guess you can say. And when I first got it, I thought, man, this thing is cool. And then I got in the video editing software, and it's easy. It's a little bit better, but had been around Tyler and knew the looping feature and what it done and how it worked. So that helped out there. But I have everything, of course, who don't want all them options on? You can yell at it, GoPro, take a picture, GoPro, start recording, GoPro, stop recording. Or you can also make it, it has GPS built into it. If you take a picture, it tells you where you're at. And really, we don't need all that stuff as far as, fishing and stuff like that. The looping feature is awesome because when you're fish, you got 5 minutes. Sometimes, using, we did like a little thing out at Grayson, and we didn't even make it 5 minutes on that one point. But, it's nice to where, we had them, like he said, had the power cables running across the boat, and we had to change something up. And that's when we started looking into these right here, and I think it's going to help. We're going to buy a few of them, mount them to the stick, so for where we're going to mount the cameras. And our goal this year is to get more views, different angles than we've ever had before. And
we're trying to set ourselves apart again because of it. And guys, we started this on Other Line live session. I was like, there's a few really big names doing this, but since I've started this, we've started this in the past, I guess it's been 2 months now. This is number 4. Like, they are popping up like wildfire, man, everywhere. And your brother talking about fishing. I saw one today. A guy added me on Instagram, and he does nothing but that. He just goes in and basically says, hey, this is, his Instagram even said that he was a host of a live fishing show, and it was on YouTube there. So, but when you think about GoPros, there's a lot of things that people get. One of the biggest questions that people ask is, what is resolution, and how can I understand resolution? What is resolution? Is more resolution better? Is less resolution better? And the thing about it is that the higher the resolution you get, the better your video quality, or pictures for that matter, is going to be. We started out way back into standard definition, which was SD, and that was back on the old square frame TVs. It wasn't widescreen. It was just like if it was 4 by, if one was 4, it'd be 4 by 4. It was totally square. We're talking about back in the extremely old days there. I mean, when I say extremely old days, I guess it's been like 15 to 18 years ago when we had that. But, so here is just a little bit of an example of resolutions and what they are. So if you look down there in the bottom left-hand side, we have a standard definition TV or screen down there that is totally square. That's back in the regular TV days. You're not going to have a bunch of that was before previous high definition TVs. And then we're going to bump up to the next thing, which is HD, which is 1920 by 1080. And let me so you can see here. If you think about what resolution is, if you think about bars being stacked across all the way up the screen, and then bars going vertically all the way across the screen, what you have is you're going to have the wide side of things. If you bring up the photo here really quick, if the wide side of things is going to be, you're going to have, like, if we take HD for example, you're going to have 1920 of those bars stacked up together, as opposed if you're going Like if you're laying them horizontally and stacking them towards the top, you would only have 1,080 of them. And those are pixels, and pixels are nothing more than a square measurement of video. And then now the big thing everybody wants to say is 4K. I mean, you don't hear anything about HD video hardly anymore, do you?
No.
And so you're looking at 4K, which is 3840 by 2160. Guys, the GoPro 5 and GoPro 6 will both shoot at 4K video. The GoPro 5 will shoot at 4K at 30 frames a second, which we'll talk about in just a second. And the 6 will shoot at 4K at 60 frames a second. And then if you bump way up here, notice that this 8K, which is double the size of 4K, 7680 by 4320. So 8K is where we're headed. 8K is the, that's where we're headed. That's where everything's going. Guys, right now, I don't have a computer that will properly edit 4K video without me wanting to pull my hair out. It is that process, it takes that much resources to run it. And 8K, unless they make, and another thing you're going to run into is file sizes. You make 1 hour video on a GoPro with 1080p or HD video, you may have 1 hour video is going to be maybe 5 gigabytes. If you shoot a 1 hour video in 4K resolution, you're looking at probably 70 to 100 gig. Yeah. I'm sorry, I think I said megabytes a second ago. 5 gigs. But if you're talking about 4K, you're looking at probably 40 to 50 gigabytes for that 1 hour. You jump up into 8K, and you're going to be looking at like 300 or 400 gigs for 1 hour of video, which because it's bringing that much more information in.
Right. So as they had a question there from Scott Black, and that's the F Dorla. Scott, I put the link to Amazon where we purchased them. Like I said, $20 for the charger. But the resolutions and the new GoPro's great. GoPro's a big name, right? So one of the things we talked about was some alternatives. And not everybody wants to go out and spend $600-700 for a camera.
I don't want to spend that much. I have to because I want to, make sure this stuff happens. And
right. But for let's say you're not going to be as far as what me and Tyler go into the videoing, but you can have. There is a couple alternatives to GoPro, and one of them is called the Yi, which is YI. Mike Iaconelli has been sharing it. He's been posting it. They're $169 on Amazon, and I think that's shipped to the house. I've never tried it. I've done some reviews or read some reviews on it, and it looks pretty good from some of the filming that we've seen, but it's $169, so it's a lot cheaper, and that's kind of a high. If you go to Walmart, I had a couple buddies at work because we were the Scott Black order one though, so I appreciate it, man. Yeah, good job. You'll love it. Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah. And but as you go to Walmart, they have two brands, and I looked them up online. I knew they had them. I didn't know the exact names. They have an Activion. I think I'm saying that right. They're anywhere from $40 to $100.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about the editing software. You're probably gonna have to buy some editing software. I guess with the GoPro, you do get some editing software, and we'll tell you a few of the editing software here in just a second. And then the other one on Walmart was a Vivitar, which is $50 to $100. So that right there is $100. You can have relive moments you never thought you could live again, and it's worth it to me because I mean you catch that big fish and it's like, hey man, I caught that fish, where's the pictures? Well, I ain't got none.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Seeing is believing, right? That's what everybody says.
For sure. And the thing about it is that the very first episode of Fishing with Tyler that's on YouTube, I'm going to bring it up here in just a second, but the very first one, and I've had many before this, and I'm going to talk about YouTube and how they've changed things here in just a second, but I filmed videos for about 2 years before I realized that I wanted to put some things out on YouTube. I didn't do it for monetary gain, guys. You can potentially make money off YouTube, and you can make a lot of money. but there's a lot of things that you have to think about. One of the things, there was a crazy guy on there. His name's well, I'm not even going to tell you his name, because if you don't know it, you don't want to know it, because he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
But he put a video on there that pretty much shamed everybody on YouTube because he's an idiot, like I said. And what YouTube has done now is they are punishing everybody that's way lower than him. This guy was a top 5% YouTube producer, had like 15 million subscribers. He was getting like 10 million hits on all of his videos. He was just getting mad cash. He was making a bunch of money, and then he screwed it all up. Well, YouTube now, you guys may have seen an ad that I've posted on Facebook a few times, but YouTube, what they're doing now is if you have less than 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time in 1 year. So you have to have 1,000 subscribers total, and then above and beyond that, you have to have 4,000 hours. Guys, that's 167 days of watch time.
Binge watching. You gotta do some binge watching.
It's not only that, but you got to have a big following. If somebody watches 3 minutes of one of your videos, that adds to the 4,000 hours, right, obviously. But it takes a lot of those 3 minutes to see that. And a lot of people don't know is they think YouTube is just like you put a video and what views you get paid, and that's not the case at all. Like, I think if you get a 15 to 20% conversion rate, then that's pretty high. We were talking to James Block there last night when we tested this stuff about his stuff, and he's looking at a 3 to 5% conversion rate, which is even worse than that. But there's a lady that posted her thing. How she's really big in YouTube. Her gross earnings from YouTube last year was $210,000. So, like, when I see that number, that makes me want to push really hard to become the best fishing YouTuber as possible. There's tons of people out there doing it, and there's a few that are just right in the niche where they have a lot of followers and they're making money. So I was like, wow, that's what I wanted. So it started going on down with this blog, and it started breaking down how she made money and what she made that year. So, well, it goes on. So $220,000 is what she made. Well, YouTube takes 45% of that right off the top. So roughly half. So you're looking at $110,000 there, roughly. A little bit more than that, actually. But $110,000. And then what happens is only 15% of the people that watch your videos either watch the ads, one, because YouTube puts that skip ad button down there, or two, people use ad blockers. So if they're not watching the ads, you're not getting that revenue coming in. So of that $110,000 that she rightfully earned on YouTube, only 15% of the people watched those ads, so she only brought home $28,000. $220,000 gross income and brought home less than 30, which, don't get me wrong, $30,000 is a lot.
Yeah.
But when you knock down 220 for YouTube,
yeah,
that's pennies on the dollar. So I say that to say this. If you guys haven't checked out my YouTube channel, go and check it out. I'm about 400 subscribers away. I have until February 20th to get 1,000 subscribers. I need about 400. So if you guys see a video on there you like, and I'm going to show you one here in just a minute, but the very first episode of Fishing with Tyler, I caught the largest bass I've ever caught in my life. And it's not a giant. It's, almost a 6-pound bass out of Grayson Lake. Kyle and I, and the thing about it is we'll never forget that day, obviously. But now I could show Josh and he'll never forget it. Or I could show Kenny Sides out there watching that, boat ride out there. I'll show you how to catch a big bass. And, I can, and where it's on YouTube and I have it archived, I can go back 40 years from now and be like, check out this video. It's going to be, archaic. It's going to look like somebody shot up with a tennis shoe. But that's the one thing about it is, but it gives me a reason to want to, not to go out and fish. Obviously, I'm going to do that anyway.
Right, yeah.
But as G-Man said in that video, he uses it. He goes out and uses GoPro all the time. Matter of fact, that's one of his sponsors. But what happens is he just sets it out there, and according to him, he goes home and just like pops it on a TV and plays it and watches this whole entire day and sees where he went wrong. I've done something wrong here. How do I fix that? And that's something that you could do too. But so when you get the footage from the GoPro to the computer, what happens then? What's the best thing to do with it then? The biggest thing is that you have to understand that editing comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes. There are really watered down editing systems, and that's where I would recommend you dipping your feet and getting your feet wet in the lower end of things. Guys, start free, because if you work with that stuff and you get to where you can use it really well, there are stuff that you can pay for that will allow you to get a lot more technical about your cuts and edits and adding new things in. And it is what it is, but start somewhere low. And when I say low is, as Josh was talking about there a little while ago, with the free GoPro app, they have an app that you can actually put on your phone now, and they have a thing that's called Quick Stories, I think is what it is, and you just basically hit go, and it goes out there and picks certain parts of your video and makes a video for you. It may not be what you want. You can go in there and edit it, but the cool thing about it is it's one touch deal. You plug it in. As a matter of fact, you don't have to plug it in. You can have your phone Bluetooth to your phone. It'll actually or to your GoPro. It'll transfer the files over and edit this video for you, which is pretty daggone amazing. So, but one of the editing softwares that I use is Sony Vegas. And back to the whole situation of Josh wishing he could forget stuff.
Well, here we go.
Here it is. So
you all need some laughs. This ain't really a laughing moment. This is a crying moment for me, and you guys will understand why.
The
next one is a laughing moment, and
yeah,
I wish I could play the video when you sent it to me. And was like, I got your little evil laugh in the background. It's pretty cool though. So check this out right here.
Actually, you're not gonna be able to see it because for some reason it's not letting it go through live. But
good.
If you go out and check out the episode,
go to the YouTube thing. You can do it from that one.
Yeah. Hold on a second here. Let me pull it up. But one thing about it is that you can think of some really cool stuff that you can do with this, and like Josh says, you can. Wish you would never had it. And Josh is at this one on this here, but and again, wow, check this out. This is really cool. No, it's not really cool at all, actually. But hold on one second here.
Yeah, check it. In transition. But on another thing here is let me tell you the story behind this before we get to the thing. Is we're fishing a technology tournament, and we're on the river, and man, we had a good day. Well, we could have had a great day. We had a good day. we had the fish to win it, just couldn't get him in the boat, and somebody can't set a good hook set, and I think that'd probably be me. And you'll see.
What?
Yeah.
You're admitting this now?
I told you. I knew that I didn't set the hook, and that's what I told you, and you can't hear the voice of it, thank goodness.
I mean, there might be I might have told him one time that I could have dropped my rod in the boat and set the hook harder than he did.
Let you say more than that. Yeah. But what it is we were fishing some weed bed, and I thought, man, I thought I was hung up on some weeds, and I was popping through the weeds, and all of a sudden I feel it, and then I feel it pull down. And then by that time it was too late. And if Tyler shows you here, you'll see the swirl.
Here we go.
That's not the best part. It happens like 20 minutes later.
Yeah. So here is a quick. What I want to say is not really cool. If you notice here, there is an actual fishing space with Space Tyler.
Chuck, you're right. Any day is a good day fishing.
Yeah,
it was a good day.
Oh, Chuck Dotson on here. We're going to show you some toads, walleye he's caught. That dude there is an awesome fisherman there in Lake Erie. Travis Carey joining us. What's up, Jason? Brad Miller in the house. It's so again right here. This is obviously me here, and the Fishing with Tyler one here, not the Fishing with Tyler. But my channel here, if you look through
what's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy?
The actual tournament he's talking about is this one here, the high school technology tournament.
I think you're already there.
Yeah, right? I should be there. So when you go through, and again, I'm going to check through here so I can get to where Josh is.
There it is.
All right, so here's Josh. If you look to the left of us.
I'm looking around. Watch. See the weeds?
Oh, look at that hook set. Look at that hook set.
It pulled down.
Look at that hook set. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
Gone.
4-pounder. Gone.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's watch that again. Let's watch it one more time.
But you can see how upset I am.
Yeah,
See?
watch this hook set. Oh, it's amazing. Here we go. Oh, whoa. He really put the boom on that one.
Yeah.
But that's that's one thing about it is you can do stuff like that. But there is also another thing that I'm going to show you here. This is something else that you're going to maybe get a laugh at.
I think this is pick on Josh. I'm not for sure.
Might be, yeah.
But here's what happens. Is we're fishing, you can't see it, but there's a tree and then there's also a dock right here. So I'm thinking I'm hung up on some rope. So yeah, Mark, I know.
Yeah,
so
it has been.
I pull it and I set it because I'm popping it through. I thought was a rope, and unbeknownst to me, you'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll let the video speak for itself on this.
So here we go. Let's break this down. So again, he says he's stacked up here, and so there we go. Oh, and we got some audio too, so you can hear. Oh.
Dude, that hurt so bad. You don't understand how bad that hurt.
We got to see that one.
Yeah, see, everybody's busting me on this one. Yeah,
here we go.
It's like at what's the here we
So he's snagged up here. Bam, smack. And this is the greatest thing about filming your videos, and you can see that I have a GoPro there that's on the mount there too. But another thing we're going to show you here is it's not all about Josh being crazy or hitting that stuff, but
it's pretty good.
Snoopy pole. I should get him one. Scott.
Yeah, Scott, I'll catch one with Snoop pole this year.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll take my daughter's princess pole to catch a bass.
All right, so and again, you can see things that like this. One thing about it is you can see how awesome this GoPro footage is here, and it's going to be kind of watered down on your guys' side of things because it's getting crunched down to go through live. But this shot right here is the same tournament, obviously, but we're at this point we have like I think 2 in a boat.
3.
That's right. No, this is the very first one. This is the very first. No, this is the second one.
I caught one up in the cove.
Yeah.
I think
this is the second one. So you can see playing it through. This is 1080p. This is not 4K. This is shot with a GoPro Hero 4 silver. You can see the video is really good there. But one part that I want to show you here is that we've all been there, but a week before this, I'm going to preface this by saying a week before this shot right here, Josh and I were fishing a tournament for the Pedro Bass Club. Set the hook on a fish, reeling it in. It jumps out of the water, spits the crankbait. Josh dives onto the front of the boat with a net and scoops the fish, and that ended up being the only keeper we had all day.
Yeah.
So
dedication. See, that's a good buddy, man.
Yeah,
hook.
Good net, man.
Sometimes I made up for it on that one. So it's kind of like one. Oh no. Runs like 55 attaboys.
Yeah, that's right. I mean? Yeah. So here it is. Same place. I'm talking within 10 yards of the same place. Yeah. I'm fishing a shaky head with a Jackal Flick Shake on there and Cola Collar, which is my absolute favorite bait to throw on that. But I'm casted up there right around that lay down log there that you can see on the right hand side of the screen. So if I play it through here, you're going to see me set the hook on a fish here. And then it goes through. Josh goes and gets the net, and I have one of the Eco nets, so it extends out. You can see there. Oh, look how close.
Tried.
Look how close.
I tried.
Yeah, he went full body, man. So I guess that made up for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, watch. I think I put it in slow mo here. You can see. Watch how close he actually comes to getting this. You can see my lure come out of his mouth. I'm talking. Josh barely biffs that thing. Wow, Buckeyes football there.
Yeah. That was the one you yanked out of the water. That was a good one.
So that's why I like that's why I like GoPro so much. Is you can see that you can relive your days. You can relive your days on the water, and which is really cool.
It's a fun day, man.
Yeah, it was cool, and that's the thing. You can go back and relive it.
Yeah.
You really want to see a good day, go up and check out my YouTube channel. Check out the St. Clair Smash Fest.
Oh yeah.
If you've never been to Lake St. Clair, you definitely should put that on your bucket list. It's definitely a place to go. Hey, Jeffrey Crank, what's up, brother? Tim Smith, thanks for joining us, man. Again, one thing I want to tell you guys is, I forgot to mention it early, but we're going to give this Hoorag away. And if you shared the video earlier, you can actually be entered to win this. If you share it now, which we would thank you for, you're going to enter yourself to win this. We see every person that shares it every time. So if you share this to 8 or 10 groups, you're entering yourself 8 to 10 times. And we would appreciate that. Again, Hoorag's one of our sponsors, and they make awesome stuff. So if you share the video now, or if you shared it in the past, we'll definitely put you on the drawing.
You think we can get Jeff to do weather update for us. Since
Oh,
we're,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
pretty close, Cold Grove. Tim Smith, what's up, man? See you on there. Josh Friend, Tyler Jones, and Connie. I don't know if that's Connie or Jim, but what's going on? But yeah, you know, and we had a good time, man. And you know, we get to see you guys get to see me get smoked right in the nose with that pole. Man, I'm telling you, you don't know how bad a pole hurts. That hurt.
Yeah, I
But
guarantee it.
I think the fish, losing that fish hurt worse. You know,
Yeah.
we lost by like,
Oh, it was
I
less than a
remember
pound.
It was something, man.
And
Either one of those fish, we went.
Josh lost I'm gonna guess it was a solid 4-pounder. It was
Yeah.
a stud of a fish,
Yeah.
and like I said, to his you know, to his rescue there, we were fishing a really, you know, it was a really thick weed bed there. We were punching it, and you know, it's really tough to tell sometimes, especially
Yeah.
when you're using that much weight, especially if there's no thump. You know, if it's just really heavy. I mean, we've all been there. We've set the hook like, you know, like he did, and ended up catching a fish, but it just happened that day that it just didn't happen for him. So, you know, the cool thing about GoPros is you can do that. But some of the coolest things that you can do with GoPros, in my opinion, is the fact that you get to see inside people's days fishing. What do? You can learn so much stuff off of watching videos. Most people say, they always ask me, the biggest thing is, Tyler, why do you record every spot that you catch fish in and put it on YouTube? My biggest thing, and to say to them, is if you can take the exact same bait I caught them on, I will take you in my boat the next day, and if you can catch those same fish in that same location, I will probably buy you dinner.
Yeah,
Because it's really tough, and it's all about learning and having fun for me, and being able to relive that stuff is why I film my fishing trips.
you know, and let's be honest, there's only so many places to fish around here. You know, and fish move so much. You know, it may be here one day or down there another day. So, you know, we talked about that, and you know, actually, if you watch the other video on the Pedro Club, I think it was the top one, is you can see a couple other people who were fishing the club, so they knew where we was at. We didn't move off that spot because, I mean, we were catching fish. I think we ended up catching like 35 or 40 off that one point. Ended up catching one keeper, but we knew there was keepers there. We tried to go out deeper. We just was trying to feed through them or you know, pick through them, hopefully get another one. But it's Grayson Lake. What do you expect? And when you're catching 12 to 14 inch, and we were hoping a couple would be a spot, but they wasn't. But if you're catching fish all day, man, you know, it makes for a fun day.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like, it's all about, like, you know, I come home and show Misty the videos, like, hey, check out this day. And then there's some days, guys, and it's a good thing that digital footage is free after you buy the card, because trust me, I would have gone broke years ago. Because you have a micro SD or an SD card, whatever, and once you have that initial cost out, and that's something else we should probably cover, is that SD cards don't skimp when it comes to SD cards. You need a really high transfer rate to be able to put that really high quality video on that SD card. And do not skimp. If there's one that's $60 and one that's $70, buy the one that's $70. You're going to save yourself some money in the long run. I have literally corrupted probably $500 worth of cheap SD cards, and knowing what I know now, I will never ever buy another cheap card. I will spend the extra money, and I will, you know, I'll put it out there to where, you know, I want this stuff to last. You know, and technology, just the same as anything else. You get what you pay for. You get, you know, everything that you do in the technology field, even in fishing, I feel, you know, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So don't skimp when it comes to that, and buy an SD card that's going to last, and have the transfer speed that's going to allow you to get that high quality audio or that data onto that card. But one thing about it is I use Sony Vegas as a editing program. And Sony Vegas is a really expensive, to be honest with you, digital editor. I use it. The reason I use it is the fact that I teach this stuff, guys. I'm a video and sound teacher at Dulce Bryan High School. And I'm lucky enough to be able to use that there. They've purchased a copy of it there, and I used it and liked it, so I ended up buying my own copy. I want to think it's what, $299, I think.
Yeah, big $299.
$299. But here is Sony Vegas, and everything that you see here, and again, you can't see the video. The video where it's black, you should see the actual video of what you're editing. But on the left-hand side, you have here where it says Fishing with Tyler. That's your bin to pull footage from. So you'll
You
import.
can see at the bottom though.
Yeah, so you can see the timeline there at the bottom. The very top one there on the timeline that I have selected now in blue is a video track, and right below that you can see the peaks of audio. The way GoPros do, they record audio in a video track, and then guys, you can go through and with a little use of this stuff, you can cut things out, you can delete things, and you can get rid of this stuff that that you don't want. You mentioned Josh mentioned a second ago the looping feature of GoPro, and I'm going to stop really quick showing you this to talk to you about the looping feature on a GoPro.
Yeah.
What happens is, guys, this looping feature is on all GoPros. I don't care if it's on a cheap $100 one or you buy this $700 or $600 GoPro Hero 6 Black. You have the opportunity to do what's known as looping. What happens is, normally if you have this on normal settings, you press the record button and it'll sit there and record until one of two things happen. One, the battery dies. I guess one of three things. It'll record it until you turn it off. You press record to stop it again. The camera SD card actually fills up and it'll stop, or if the battery goes dead. So there's three reasons that it would stop. Yeah. But when you press it, it continuously records that, and the way it's set up, every 1 gigabyte of data, it makes another file. And you can smash them together in the editing, and it looks like there's nothing that's none the wiser there. But with the looping feature, what it does is you can set it to 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 60 minutes, or the entirety of the SD card. I wish they had a 10-minute looping feature. And it's something I'm sure I can't do anything about because GoPro is such a huge company, but I wish that GoPro would have a 10-minute feature on this. And I'm sure it's something in there about one line of code about that long that would fix all my problems. Yeah. And 5 minutes is okay. What happens is when you set this on looping on 5 minutes, when you hit record, it'll record 5 minutes of video in 1 minute increments. And then when it gets to the end of that 5 minutes, it'll go back to the very beginning of that very first minute and begin recording all the way through it. Think about it as a snake eating its own tail, if you will. Yeah. It just continues on, and then it goes all the way up to that 5 minutes. So it loops all the way through. So let's say you catch a fish. So you measure it, you put it in a live well. If you go back and press the record button, it saves the previous 5 minutes of footage. And then you press it again to start another 5 minutes. So it'll sit there and loop that 5 minutes until you want to save something. Then you press the record button again, and it saves that previous 5 minutes. So that's why I wish I had a 10-minute loop, because the only time I've ever really needed it, Kyle and I were at Mosquito Lake in Youngstown, Ohio, and we caught 2 limits of bass in the first 19 minutes of a fishing tournament. So when it's happening like that, man, you don't have time to go back there and hit the record button, because again, like I said at the beginning of the show, the more time you take out to touch this thing, the worse off you are. So that kind of comes into the play where you can say GoPro stop. You can do that on here, but it's going to degrade the battery life.
But if you're like a couple of ours, we have, like he said, USB cable. We can buy extensions, 10, 20 foot, whatever you want. We're actually going to run them wires to compartments so where we can run a little wire straight up to it. And if you got that, leave all that stuff on to where you can look back there and say, GoPro, stop recording, GoPro, start recording, or whatever it is. That's the less time you got to do it, and you can do it from the front of the boat. So that's good there. But if you don't, like we said, buy one of these, $20. Can't beat it. Get you 13 hours of time if you turn all the settings off. And Dan Monsey on there, Christian Moore, so Smoke. But, as he does all the editing software, you got the Final Cut Pro. That's $300, but GoPro has a free feature that comes with theirs. And it works pretty good. You can add music, you can do pictures, and you can, do things and do transitions. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's not going to do like, studio quality. Don't get me wrong.
Well, actually, you could be surprised at what you can do with it. But it's not like you don't have to know much about video editing. You can just put it on there. Another thing, what he talked about, Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is an Apple product, so you're gonna have to have a Macintosh computer to run that. You actually can't run that on a PC. But another thing that a lot of people don't understand is that you can transfer that footage to your phone if you have a big enough phone, and use iMovie on your phone to actually edit that video, and it is really simple to put it out there. So the thing about GoPros, there, guys, that I'll never stop learning. If I do, it'll be the day I quit or the day I die. One of the two. That's what they say. You never stop learning until you die, and it's true. And I'm right now at a point where I feel like that I'm mediocre with what I'm doing. Josh and I are going to try to produce our stuff a lot better, a lot more professionally this year, and we're going to actually try to bring you guys a lot more footage and a lot more stuff that you guys want to watch. So do you guys?
Ins and outs of fishing. That's what we're going to call it. Yeah, the ins and outs of fishing.
What you should do and what you shouldn't. So, does any of you guys have any questions about GoPros out there? Any questions I can help you, or we can help you with here? And again, like I said, there's the 3 editing softwares I would recommend. Is you have GoPro, which is going to be the free side of things, and I think you can probably download the GoPro app and edit other videos with it. I would imagine. I think it's totally free. And it comes down to the fact that you have what you can afford. Start really low, and when I say really low, use stuff that's free, guys. You can actually
I like free.
Yeah, if it's free, it's for me.
Remember, share this video. We're gonna give this away. It's free.
Yeah,
that's click right. We're gonna make a video, right? Gotta click and share.
Shared it to about 40 groups of people that I know, and we've had like 25 shares, and about 18 of them have been he and I. So I'm gonna have to make a video and post it to some of my.
So make sure you share.
Yeah. So share it up. Again, somebody's gonna win that thing. Might as well be you. So. And again, if you guys have any questions about GoPro, we've spent quite a bit of time on that, almost an hour talking about GoPros. But if there's anything I can do to help you out, if you're in my area, which I think most of you guys are, and you want to get into the GoPro side of things and you need some help, guys, I am more than happy to come out and show you what I know. I can show you what I do. I can show you how to do some editing stuff. If you want to see me throw some videos up on YouTube about the basics of editing, how I get there, how I set up cameras and stuff, I'll definitely do that. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions, definitely shout them out there and let us see. We were going to talk about fishing hooks and the likes of such, but I personally don't think there's enough time for that in this episode. There's a lot of information that I want to get out there. So many different type of fishing hooks and stuff. I want to ask you guys a question. What's your favorite knot to tie when you talk about tying any kind of... I know there's certain baits that you want to tie different hooks or different knots with. But if you could tie one knot and tie one knot only, what would that knot be? Drop a comment there in the comments below. What's up, Gabe? I see you down there.
Yeah. What's up, Nathan? What's going on, buddy? I think, that's it.
Yes, and... like I said, here in just a few minutes, we're going to have Jim Block coming on from JB's Fish Sauce. And I'm going to take just a second to talk to you about what JB's is and, how Josh and I got affiliated with it. And then we're going to bring James in here in just a minute when he gets, like I said, he's in Minnesota. So a little bit behind back there. Plus, he said he had some things to take care of. His son has some guitar lessons or a tutoring session or something, and he gets out of school about that time or whatever. But we're going to bring him in here, and JB's Fish Sauce, guys, is nothing more than a fish attractant that you can spray on baits. You can marinate things in it. There's several different types, and I'll let you get some more information on him when he comes on there. And we're going to talk about it. Yeah, Brad, the Palomar knot is a good one. I showed you guys there a few weeks ago my 2 favorite, and that's going to be a uni to uni when I'm talking about braid to a leader or a leader to braid. You can also try a uni knot just to a hook if you wanted to, which I really like that as well. But my absolute favorite right now is called the Double San Diego Jam Knot. And that's, it's kind of tough to tie, but if you look on my YouTube channel, there's something there that shows exactly how to do those 2 knots. What's your favorite, Josh?
I don't know, man. I'm just an old-fashioned, just loop it through twice, roll it up, shove it back through.
Oh, the old, what I think you call that, the trilene knot?
Yeah, trilene knot, I think's what it is. But, hey, it works. If I'm not hooked the barge rope, it don't break or
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah,
rope
or-
was.
yeah, well,
It's good on
it's-
Nate, man. It's good to see you, pal.
It don't matter
Should
what
see you
kind,
Saturday.
it doesn't matter what kind of line you got if you're setting hook like you do.
Yeah, you know. Hey, listen. So it's kind of like a woman, you know, just kind of soft and easy. You know,
Yeah, you
just-
see exactly
that's-
where
that's
that
what-
let's see what
that's-
happened on that.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, you know, knots are my favorite
Tim
when it
says
comes to those,
fishermen's are a uni.
yeah, those are two good ones. So what's your favorite line out there, guys? That's the biggest thing right now I'm having a hard time with
I
is
know what I like.
what your
P line.
P line?
I'm a P line guy, man.
Okay, yeah, I can get down with some P line.
Hey,
My
it's-
favorite again,
It's good.
if
It
it's
works.
braid, I'm fishing Power Pro.
Yeah.
Power Pro is one of the best braids on the market, if not the best. And the cool thing about Power Pro is they have a line called Super Slick. If you think about dental floss, how it feels going through your hands, you can't feel every one of those little braids. It's exactly the same way that Super Slick Power Pro
Yeah.
feels. One, it's a lot nicer to cast. Two, it doesn't chew the crap out of the guides on your fishing rod. And you're not going to hear that, you know, going through your line. And here, serious thing about it is, guys, a lot of people don't understand or think about it even. I didn't until I saw it. A guy talking about it at a seminar. If you think about your fishing rod, when you hold it and somebody, you know, you get a bite, that vibration transfers all the way up that fishing line until it hits your rod and then is kind of amplified through that graphite fishing rod. That's how you tell you get a bite. Well, if that's the case, then it's got to be true that when you're reeling that braid through that fishing line, that it's got to be doing the exact same thing on the opposite end. It's got to be making those vibrations. And guys, bass and most all other fish on the planet, they feed by that lateral line. They get vibrations. You know, there is some scent and some hearing involved in it, but 90% of what they feed and feel is off that lateral line, especially when you're talking about largemouth or smallmouth bass. So, you know, it's amplifying that. So that takes that down as well. So are you, okay, fins, is that braid, Chuck? I think it is. Seaguar is awesome too.
Yeah.
I've just made the switch to Sunline. I made the switch to Sunline on the notion that it was the best line on the planet. I have literally become a believer. It's expensive, man. I wish I didn't, you know, think about it. If you see it, and then that last shot Josh had there, I've got I don't know, 15 rods sitting back here behind me. And you know, one of these rods back here doesn't belong here because it's a ducket. But I have 15 rods here. If I were to swap out Sunline on all these, which I'm going to eventually, you know, you can see I've got rods stacked all up through here. Some of them are stacked 3 and 4 deep. If you think about how much money it would cost to reline those, with Sunline, it's roughly like $30 per reel. It's like $24 to $30 depending on what you're using, and that's a ton of cash. So, you know, yeah, FC Sniper is awesome. That's one of my favorites. Sunline. That's the fluorocarbon there. And again, you know, we're gonna break lines down here in an episode. Probably do hooks and line in the same episode where we're gonna break down the different types of line. You always hear, well, is it mono or monofilament, or is it fluorocarbon? Those are both the same, you know, two names for the same line. Is it braided? Is it a coated braiding? You know, there's all kind of different things to think of, and they all have their benefits. For example, if most braid floats, if you don't have a weight on it, you can throw a braided line out there and it'll float right on top of the water. So I throw all of my topwater baits on braid. It's less. Let's say you're throwing a buzz bait and you throw it up in there. It takes less effort to keep that bait up on top of the surface because of the surface tension of that line as well. If you use fluorocarbon, which sinks naturally, it's going to pull your bait down and want to dive your bait. So it's good if you want to get like crankbaits down deeper than you could with mono, or, you know, I don't throw braid on crankbaits, but you could. And it gives you the option. Fluoro is actually a little bit more brittle, but it's a lot more sensitive, and it's actually a lot more clear than mono. So what kind of braid are you fishing?
Well, I don't throw braid.
That'll change.
Yeah. Tyler wants me to throw braid. I'm not big on braiding, but he keeps trying to get me. And I'm going to switch up this year.
You throw a big...
learn a little bit, you know, from Tyler, you know, from different lines, and you know, I'm gonna invest some money this year, I guess. You know, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to fish more than I ever have. My boat sometimes just sits around, and I'm not going to do that this year. I plan on getting out, and I'm going to do it. And it's a little more dedication to it this year. But let's talk about real quick before we bring James on is some good news on Tyler's boat. Well, do you want to call it good news?
No, well, I do.
I would call it good news.
First off, I want to throw
I would say it's okay news because it'll be bad, okay, or good.
Yeah,
so,
yes, you're right. So we'll put really good news, okay news, and then there are the really bad news. So one thing about this is that I want you to understand that I am going to throw out Freedom Outdoors out there because, guys, they have been more than helpful for me. Kevin Wells up there. You got Cole Willis. Those guys up there, they'll go above and beyond at doing what's necessary. We talked to the boat mechanic. We come up with what was going on. I had conversations with these people even before that. I even knew what was going on. So I called and picked their brain. I took my boat up there on Tuesday, and the prognosis was
okay.
It was okay. Bad stator. We talked about it last week on the episode. Is that I had the problem with my battery charging, and hold on a second there, guys. Sorry about that. But a second. We're bringing James in here really quick.
Yeah, it's kicked out or something. That's loud.
That's super loud. All right.
Yeah. So, anyways, what he's saying about his boat ended up being the stator. So, we're happy about that. And, so it's a lot cheaper. So also we're having my boat. I've been doing the lights. Man, it's,
wow. Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure that my boat was made on either a Friday evening or what's going on, Jim?
What's up, Jim?
James.
So yeah, one before we get Jim on here, we're going to talk about is like Josh said, it's lights. So go ahead.
Yeah. So. I had a brain fart in a way, but I'm pretty sure my boat was made on a Friday evening or a Monday morning. It's one bolt was holding light, so it was awful, my wife says I'm an overthinker. I'm a little bit OCD too, so some of it is I really took my time and really done. Probably above and beyond what I need to do. Man, it's going to look cool. It's bright. Like, it's crazy bright. I was trying to have the whole side flash, and then I had one of them moments whenever you figure out that you're an idiot. And
surely not.
I was sitting there flashing it, and I was like, oh, crap. That works your brake lights, too. So I had to pull all the other side apart, pull all the wires back off, and then redo it. But it worked out all right. And I sent Tyler a message, and I was like... hey Tyler, man, check this out. And I done a little video, and I was like, it ain't gonna work. And I explained to him why. And I said, well, the good thing is the other side's gonna be a lot easier because I can hook as many wires up, and I know which ones to hook up exactly. But and Tyler said, well, at least you're looking at it from a good standpoint. So it worked out good. But I think we're getting ready to bring James on here. So
yeah. By the way, my boat was bad stator, $629 to get fixed. So I got to go pick that thing up on Tuesday. But it'd be nice to know that's all going on. So we're going to transition over here, guys. I want to introduce you to the one Mr. James Block. He is the owner of JB's Fish Sauce out of Minnesota here in the good United States of America.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jim, if you don't care to introduce yourself to make sure we got your audio. Nope, we don't have any audio. All right, hold up 1 second. What does it do? Hold on 1 second. We got to do some audio configuratory.
All right.
So the bad stator was, should be playing there.
He's still trying to talk. I can see him there.
Let's see.
Can you hear us?
Jim, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Yep, he can hear us.
All right. Yeah. Let's see.
Anyways, so James is the owner, and I guess he's the Mr. Everything is what we're going to call him.
Well, that's until his wife gets the paycheck.
Yeah, but well, that's all right, you know. So just a second, James. They can't hear you. We can.
Make sure you don't have your microphone muted on your side. That might be a problem there. Right on the screen, you should see that may be the deal there. Yeah, I'm hearing audio, so on this side, but
yeah, but the he makes JB's. It's just stuff. I'm telling you guys, it's unbelievable the smell it puts out. I mean, like. It's good stuff, and as soon as we get the auto fixed here, we'll let Jim tell him about it.
Jim, let me cancel this, and we'll get right back on and see if we can get it on. But again, JB's Fish Sauce is 100% made in the United States.
Yeah.
It is handmade, one batch at a time. It is, again, he makes it within his own deal. So, and in his garage, one batch at a time, you have the whole thing. And for some reason there, he's not getting connected. So, it's like...
Well.
Alright, let's see.
Gotta love it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
There he is.
I can see you, man. I just can't hear you. I'll figure out why. Oh, let's see here. Let me make sure that... Oh, I heard that. I heard you touch your camera. Hold on one second.
Yeah, just a second.
Still saying that I'm trying to call you.
Hey, it's coming through right there.
All right, yeah, that's...
Talk, Jim. Is it coming through on that?
No, it's us.
No, that's us. Never mind.
Yeah, we had something there that... we tested this thing last night, guys. I'm telling you.
Can you do sign language, James?
I gotta figure something out here. Everything should be... I'm hearing audio. Why am I not hearing audio from you? You see the little microphone there on the screen? Is there a little white bar through that thing? Is there a white bar? If there is, nope, you're seeing it. So
yeah.
If there's not a white bar, then you're good to go. So it's got to be something on our end. So let me... Oh, I know what it is, I think. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hey, now give us something. I should have you now. Hopefully, maybe, if that's given. Nope. Wow. All right. So
see, we tested it last night. Now it don't work. That's what happens, right? See, it's like pre-fishing. Don't go catch fish.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure to have this thing turned on here, and audio was good last night. Let's go into the default audio here. Make sure I have that turned on, and we should be good. But let's see, still have nothing. All right. Guys, stick with us here. Josh, give us a little information about your boat there. Let's see if I can get this thing on. Your boat, your lights, you were talking about this?
Oh, yeah. LEDs, I bought the LEDs I bought off Amazon. And when I got them, they was, I don't know, I ended up having like $100 and all of them, $80-$100. But I wanted to make sure that that you can see, and some of it's from a safety standpoint, some of it's from, just better lighting. I blowed 3 or 4 bulbs on the back due to, going down the road traveling. Put them right in the water, they pop. LEDs are supposed to be sealed, so it's the new age technology, just like we talked about the cameras. So I'm really hoping that this does away with a lot of my problems as far as that goes. But give us just a second here, and we're going to try to make sure we...
One more thing here I'm going to try, and if that doesn't work, then I am out of options. Guys, we just tried this yesterday, and it worked great. So...
Larry Sachs says echoing. Is it still echoing there, Larry? Maybe turn that one up.
Yeah, probably is. That's that. So, let's get rid of that. And that is weird as all get out, man. We tested her yesterday. Everything was good to go.
Can you FaceTime?
Nope, I didn't know it was up.
I think it'll work on that. Is
hopefully you guys can hear us and make sure it's not echoing anymore. That's weird again. We tested it yesterday and everything is good to go.
Desktop audio volume, is it down?
I just turned it all the way down. Let's see.
Excuse me. Still echoing, he said. Chuck said it's echoing.
All right, let's see.
So, you guys got any questions for anything? He says he's gonna call you.
All right, yeah. I'll tell you what. It's I don't know how we can put this in through audio either. We got to get this thing figured out. Figure out what's going on. Yeah. So
you got any echoes going now? That's good now. I don't know what's up with it.
Yeah, like I said, we tested yesterday. Everything worked great.
He wants to call you.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're.
You guys got any questions for us? Anything right now? While we're still trying to figure this out and hopefully get James on here.
Technical difficulties, guys. Technology is awesome when it works. So
yeah.
Let me hold on a second. Let me add this. I think I have the option here, and I think I know the reason that it's not adding that in there. So I should be able to now. Let's see here. Let's see.
Two.
All right, now guys, tell me if it's echoing now. It's probably going to be.
Yeah. They say no. James, you still hear us, right?
All right, guys. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to call you, Jim, and we're going to put you on speakerphone here. And it's going to be a little different, but we'll get some audio one way or the other. That was a great idea there, Larry. So I'm going to call you here. Put you on speakerphone.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, is that working okay for you?
Yeah, we are actually great. So yeah, we will just forgo the video for right now until we get it worked out, and we'll bring him back. But I mean, Jim's a decent looking guy and all, but we really don't care about.
I think we're okay. We're safe going this route.
Yeah. So back to what we're talking about is your product. So if you don't care to introduce yourself to the audience here and tell me who you are and what you do, we'd appreciate it.
You bet. No, absolutely. Well, Tyler introduced me. My name is Jim Block. I started a small business here in making a fish attractant. Going on my 4th year officially in business. Something that I just kind of fell into. I always used one for about 10 years of tournament fishing when I lived in Iowa, and our family moved to Minnesota a little less than 5 years ago. And in lieu of, or while waiting to get my teaching certificate changed over from Iowa to Minnesota, I started messing around in the kitchen with the fish attractants and gave it to a couple buddies back in Iowa, and they really liked it. They had some good success with it, and they said you should go with this. So I just was really playing with the market. Went to a local tackle dealer near my home, and he kind of helped me out and gave me some tips. And next thing I know, I've got a line of attractants with a website and some big retailers and great customers and testimonies that show that the products really work. And it's not on purpose by any means, but it's something that I ran with, and I truly believe in it too. That's what's the cool thing is like I get to do this by hand. I look at it and I see it. I'm like, man, this is legit.
Yeah. So when you talked about coming into the business there, what was it? Just basically so you can basically catch more fish on your own, or did you have a business model in mind from the beginning?
Well, sure. The idea was, it was for my own personal use and for my own friends' use. I felt like there were things in the market, the things that I were using weren't good enough. I thought they could be better, and there was nothing on the market that I saw that really kind of caught my eye. So I decided to, make my own. The stuff that I had been using for all that time had kind of changed. The consistency of it changed over time. It was you could tell that there was like a factory production behind it, and I didn't want that anymore. I'm too superstitious, I guess, with my fishing.
Yeah.
So I went and I started making my own and did a lot of research online. And what I kind of developed was an understanding and number one, an education about fish attractants, but then two, I kind of developed a theory based on all that my own research on what I think would work, and what I've come up with thus far, what I can tell, has been very successful. So, and a lot of it is based on customer recommendations too. Like, they ask, "Oh, Jim, can you do this? Can you make it into a solid stick?" That was the solid sticks that I have was based on a customer recommendation. So.
Yeah, so that one thing that I'll say is that, since I've been a part of the team of the JBs, is I've saw, you grow in leaps and bounds of, not only the stuff you offer, but, the research that's gone into this product, just for the simple fact is I know how many people fish it now, especially on, the staff side of things. I feel like that we're generating like an ample amount of good PR for the company, and it's not just because, we're not paid people when we're talking about this, guys. Everything I'm telling you about this company and this product is that I believe in it. I bought my very first,
No doubt.
bottle of spray, and it was of the garlic. And it's funny that you mentioned there, Jim, that you started in your kitchen. Did you start with the garlic?
I did, and the garlic was the very first one, and then my wife would come home from work. She always knew when I had a batch made that day, because it was usually not real pretty when she came in. It's just a real heavy, potent garlic smell, and it has a tendency to fill the house. So
it feels more than the house. I mean, you can walk in my garage, which is a 24 by 40, and you can smell it, which is good. I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, my favorite guys, and I'll show you guys here later on the different products he has. By the way, if you want to check out his website, it is jbsfishsauce.com. You can get on there. If you guys are interested in having some of the product, shoot me or Josh a message. We might be some incentive to doing that.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is the garlic spray.
Yeah.
And
The mist spray.
So that's my favorite. What's your number one seller product as far as, I would say garlic's probably your number one scent?
Yeah, and I would have thought so too. I know it was always my favorite. I never used anything else. But believe it or not, the crawfish, as of 2017, the numbers that came in, the crawfish outdid both the baitfish and the garlic, and then the baitfish and garlic are really head to head. They're real close. So, but the crawfish is the number one right now, and the baitfish and the garlic are close behind it. But I didn't get to finish it. I did want to say, about the products and with the research. I think with the biggest difference, I think that kind of makes my products maybe stand out from others, is that I use real crude fish oil, and that was the key ingredient that I felt like made mine different from everybody else. It was just it operates the theory off of the chum theory. The saltwater guys have these pail of like beat down, ground down fish that they're throwing out behind their boats when they're taking their clients out saltwater fishing, and they're leaving a scent trail, a chum trail. And this is basically I'm operating off the same theory. I just have garlic, there's anise, and there's coffee, and those are more just to mask those human odors that fish don't like. Things like DEET, things like sunblock, a myriad of different food acids. You get the Cheetos cheese on your fingers. And believe it or not, that is repulsive to a lot of fish.
Wow.
So, but the research has found that the anise and coffee and garlic, those are actually, it's not that they're attractive, but they are palatable to fish, and they're okay with it. So it's a neutral scent that kind of masks those human odors that fish don't like. The fish oils that I use and the real crude crawfish oils that I use are just those bonus things. That's to get the fish to realize, man, this is real, and I want to hold on to it. It tastes and smells like the real thing.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was going to mention is, guys, is you need to make sure that you're focusing on that this product does include and does contain real crude fish oil. So just like he's talking about, that chum slick or whatever, it's not, like I used to fish, and I still do sometimes. I'm talking Jim into making a dye series, but I fish, Spike It right now, not for the garlic scent, but, you have that opportunity to dip baits and stuff. And like you said, it allows me to mask my scent. And one of the biggest things that I realized that human scent is repulsive to fish, and it's not just human scent, is 2 years ago, Kyle and I were fishing a tournament at Deer Creek Lake. He absolutely smoked me. I bet he caught 30 bass, and I never got one bite. And it was one of those deals where I was kicking myself in the rear end. Like, I was at that point where I was Mike Iaconelli. I was getting ready to start breaking rods and stuff, throwing stuff in the water, and luckily I didn't do that. But I just looked at what I'd done before that. The very day before that, I had canned a whole garden full of some of the hottest peppers on the planet. So I know that oil was still in my hands the next day, and I washed my hands, and I was using the sauce and stuff. But that without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, was the sole reason that I didn't catch any fish.
Yep, I don't doubt it. I used to go through to such extents of carrying plastic, the med gloves with me in my boat, because when I would go and prime the bulb on the back for the engine, and I didn't want to get those oils and stuff on my hand, I would use that before the tournament morning. I wouldn't touch my rods out of my rod locker until I doused my hands in a little bit of a garlic oil that I carried with me before.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch anything, and there's definitely something to it. It wouldn't be around for all these years if there wasn't something there. So I'm a huge believer. The hard part is sometimes getting other people to kind of believe it, or people have used it and not had success, and so they kind of quit. And in the long run, any kind of scent attractant will increase your catch rates in the long run.
Yeah, and like I said, guys, I pulled up his website here. You guys can check that out. You can see it. It comes in a bunch of different application styles. Again, my favorites here on the right-hand side, that is the mist or spray. It comes out in a 4-ounce bottle, and it does have a spray cap on it. So my biggest thing is my boat is my baby. I'm extremely OCD about my boat. I have a hard time boat flipping fish on the carpet and the whole 9 yards. So I got the spray because it is an oil, guys. It does have a scent to it, and it does have fish oil in it. So I spray it outside of my boat. It's not going to harm your boat. It's not going to do anything like that. I'm just OCD.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
So that's why I buy that, and that's why I like it. But it comes, all this stuff that I'm going to tell you about here comes in all the different, scents that we're talking about. Again, the mist, my favorite is garlic. I do have crawfish. Caught a fish on crawfish at the very first tournament of the year at Lawrence County Bass Club. 3.5 pounder. Only fish caught all day on a Strike King Rodent, sprayed with JB's crawfish there. So, it's a huge deal there. And so, do you find a lot of people matching the hatch? Is it? Do you find people spraying just the crawfish on crawfish style baits, or do you think it's
I do generally, when people ask for recommendations on what goes with what. That's usually why I go with a match the hatch type of philosophy. If you're throwing jig, creature baits, things that are going along the bottom, I'm going to probably be throwing something with the crawfish on there. If you're going to be throwing something that mimics bait fish, swim baits, spinner baits, flukes, anything like that, you're going to probably want to use, the bait fish. The garlic I like a lot actually on top water. I really love it frogging for whatever reason. And I really like that oil slick anything on the frog. It seems like the belly of it slides over vegetation a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And then it slides in the fish's mouth a little bit better for a better hook set. The same with swim baits. In fact, Byron Velvet will even tell you that an oil-based fish attractant is perfect for swim baits. But I do go with the match the hatch. Anise and coffee seem to be more favored with panfish guys. Garlic is favored for catfish guys. garlic is great on walleye. I take that garlic gel and I put it in with my night crawlers when I go on vacation for walleyes, and just it seems to do a whole lot better, especially when everybody else is not catching anything.
So you're actually putting it on live bait.
I will use it on live bait as well.
Cool.
Yeah, I take a bottle of garlic gel and I take 3 or 4 of my canisters of the worm bedding, and just dump it in there, and I use that same worm bedding for 2 weeks. So
cool. Yeah. So again, guys, the mist spray there
sweet.
comes in 4 ounce.
Yep.
I was just telling about the mist spray coming in 4 ounces there. My next favorite is going to be the chapstick style, and the reason I like them so well is because they're readily accessible. You can pick up one of the 5 packs here that come with a lanyard, and they all have a hook loop on them. So a lot of guys, have all 5 of these on the same lanyard. They will fit. It's a tough fit, or it's a kind of tight squeeze, but you can put them on there. But, you just pull down on it, the cap comes off, you can apply it on there, and again, it's just like chapstick, so you can put it on your hard baits, you can even put it on different, soft baits if you wanted to. And that's where the deodorant stick style comes in my opinion, and even the paste. James, would you say that the paste is more towards like, hard bait stick style, or what can you do with the paste?
You can. It's certainly the newer jars that I have are bigger for that, so you can actually put a crankbait on one side of it and the other side and start fish pretty quick. The sticks are good for those hard baits too. I like that paste for jigs, and you really don't have to touch it then either. For a lot of guys, some people don't like to get the stuff all over, like you said, their boats, their hands, or whatever. I think the sticks are a great option for that as well. You don't have to get it all over your hands. It's just swipe it on your base and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it spraying or all over your boat and stuff like that. So that's a great option. They are heat sensitive. It's just if they're out in the sun or whatever, it might not be a pretty sight sometimes, depending how hot it is. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's got to come to say with if you made it so impliable that it wouldn't do that. It would be impossible to get it to actually come out for one, and 2 stick on a bait.
Right. There's a very happy medium with that. And if you get it too hard, especially the sticks, you get it too hard and it flakes off, chunky, waxy almost, and that's no good. I want to make sure that you're getting the most most bang for your buck.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people's favorite, and correct me if I'm wrong, but are the gels. It seems like that people buy the gels more than anything.
Probably it might be the price point, but I think that I always favored, it started with a gel. Mine started with, and that's the type of consistency that I always used, and that's how the business started, was with a gel. The garlic gel was first, and then the anise gel was second, and then it just really sprung from there. So yeah, I would say maybe the gels are, I think they're up there in popularity.
So a lot of guys, I think a lot of guys put a few drops of this stuff in like bags of worms, right? I mean, that's a lot of stuff that people do, and basically
it's a great way to marinate.
Yeah,
it's a great way to marinate, and it doesn't take much. A little bit goes a long ways. Do it 2 or 3, 4 days before a tournament. Allow your soft plastics to soak that up a little bit. There's some plastics soak that in better than others, but it won't break down your soft plastics. I've had this stuff soaking over the winter. You get it out, you get your fishing stuff out in the spring, and there it is, still marinating.
Yeah.
So, and just as good as it was when you put it in there. So.
Yeah. And another thing I want to mention is, like you said, a little bit goes a long way. You guys, another cool thing about this is it's so strong and it's such a good formula that you don't have to reapply all the time. A lot of baits, a lot of attractants that you have, you're going to have to put it on every 5 or 6, 10 casts. I've literally put garlic on my baits and put my rods up from fishing a whole day and get them out the next tournament, and you can still smell the garlic on them, which is a good thing. I mean, that's why I fish it. So, and I never thought about dipping or putting the jigs in the paste, because you're going to have that paste touching surface area of all those tentacles on that thing. So, Josh, have any questions for him?
Yeah. James, what I want to tell everybody is it's everything now is moving towards, nobody wants to throw lead because it's toxic. Nobody wants to do, different things. This product is environmental friendly, and I want to, stress that to the people.
Right, and that's a great point. And all the ingredients that I use they come from like direct from the environment. They're not trying to, I try to stay away from refined as much as I can, and I try to make it as user friendly and environmentally friendly as I possibly can. And that's really important to me. I don't want to be putting stuff in our waters that's toxic. It's not always about putting more fish in the boat and winning that tournament. If it's at the detriment of the environment, I don't want to do it then. That's not what I'm in it for. So it can be done. It's just like you could almost consider it organic. We're a society that's kind of going that route, and I kind of figured that environmentally friendly, almost organic materials would, as organic as oil can be, would be a good fit right now. So I'm excited about that aspect. I'm glad you pointed that out, Josh.
So,
by the way, that shirt looks really good on you, Josh.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to Fast Signs of Ashland that made that for us. Really cool. But tell us about this new product you have coming out called Black Magic.
Oh, sure. Well, it was kind of out all last year, just for I had some people using it here and there. It kind of started out as a hodgepodge of some like orders that I messed up, and here I have a table of all kinds of stuff sitting on my table. I'm like, well, what can I do with, I can't throw this out. I want to use it. It's still full of crude fish oil or whatever. And I was just like, what happens if I start mixing these, And I've had customers ask, oh, can you mix this? Can you mix that? So it's not anything I'm adverse to or don't know how to do. So I just started playing with it. I was like, what if I mix everything together? What do I come up with, And just in the right amounts, the garlic can certainly be overpowering, but just a little bit of it can kind of enhance the scent. And man, this Black Magic, it has anise, it has bait fish, it has crawfish, it has coffee, and it has garlic in it. And a good nose can put, at least mine, I can pick out each scent in that. And it's really cool.
So you're like a wine connoisseur when it comes to fish attraction.
You know what? Like I switched it around like a wine connoisseur in my shop, man.
Wow. Yeah. My question to you is, does it taste good on garlic bread?
No, it tastes like fish. I've gotten this stuff in my mouth before, and I mean, we don't have to go how that happened, but accidents happen. I've gotten this stuff in my mouth before, and you'd think that it tastes like fish, which is good. I want it to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, even the anise, which is like that licorice, or the coffee, it smells so sweet. Go ahead and put it on your lips, and you're like, oh my god, I can taste fish in this.
Yeah. By the way, Jim, Grant Carson said you smell like fish. Garlic. You smell like garlic. Garlic. Sorry, yeah, you smell like garlic.
I probably do. He's ridden in my truck before. He knows.
Yeah, like I said, it's very strong, and I like it. But so, how long have you been in business? I think you said that earlier. I might have missed it.
Yeah. No problem. So I consider myself official in business. In November is my month, my annual month. So this coming November of 2018 will be 4 years, and that's when the website went live.
Okay. So how has your sales increased? I'm sure they've. First off, you gotten a few Fisherman's Warehouses this year, correct?
Yeah. Sportsman's Warehouse.
Oh, Sportsman's Warehouse. Sorry.
Yep. No, that's fine. This past spring, I think it was in May, the purchase order finally came through with Sportsman's Warehouse, and they carry it now in a dozen of their locations out of, I think they have 77. And that was huge. That was a really big move. It really brings legitimacy to the product quite a bit, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
For a major chain to carry it, there's quite a bit of hoops that you have to jump through to get that taken care of. So if you can get that taken care of, it's just kind of like, man, this product's real, it's the real stuff. So that was a really big move. We got a little bit of TV airtime through Ron Scherer Productions. If you're familiar with one of the shows that he's had on ESPN, I think Ron and Raven actually was on ESPN Outdoors for a long time on Saturday mornings. But one of their productions picked up just a little 10-minute story on our story, and that's really brought some really good exposure. At least in the North Country, it was on Fox Sports North. It's ran a couple of times. So it's great exposure there. And then, of course, we've got our guys in the FLW tour down at Okeechobee right now.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's a tough bite for a lot of guys right now, but anything can happen. But they're all doing well down there. And, our guy Jay Wallen just shoot, he just was in the 10, TEN, with KBF for the Angler of the Year from 2017, and I think he's came in 6th, I think, or 5th or 6th, somewhere in there, and out of all the anglers of KBF, that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's headed over to Sweden for the Hobie World Championships.
Nice.
So
Nice job,
that's
Jay.
pretty cool. So, and then I've got guys like, a guy named Tyler Waller, Josh Bryan, other guys that are out there, and they're doing the deal to make it to the next level. And those are the people that I'm looking for and that I have representing the brand, and we're going to be up there and become a household name, I think, before too long. It just takes time to grow a company, I guess, organically.
Mm-hmm.
There's no capital venturists giving a ton of money for a big marketing plan. You're not going to be seeing a Super Bowl commercial with JB's Fish Sauce on coming out next week, but maybe someday, who knows?
Yeah, but that's also going to keep the price to where we can afford it too. You know what I mean? It's not going to be $45 for a bottle of sauce.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, in all honesty, for something this is made by hand in the U.S. by one person, for the price points to be where they are, it's very competitive, and I think it's when you think about it, I can compete with the guys who are having it on an assembly line with a computer machine doing it. So,
and that's the thing. One thing that I want to mention is there's not really. There's like a best by date on the bottle, and you'll never get a bottle that's like you have like 2 months to use it. You know what I mean? It's fresh batch to you, and like you said, stuff that's that he doesn't feel like is good enough to go out, it doesn't go out. You know what I mean? It's stuff that he believes in, and I think that's what makes it so special, is because it's not, obviously the whole deal about it is making money and catching more fish, and obviously the American dream there is to make more money while you're catching more fish. But, the thing about, since you've started, I guess my question was a second ago, how long you've been in business. Since you've started, how has your life changed as opposed to, I know you were a teacher and then you you switch to doing this full time, right? This is your full time job?
I guess this is my full time job now. When we moved here, I haven't gone back to teaching. It's still there, and I miss the classroom an awful lot, but I do want to see where this takes me. And this is becoming a full-time job. I don't fish anymore, Tyler. It's crazy. We're in the North Woods, and guys up here, we're big ice fishing country up here. We've got probably a good 24 to 30 inches of ice on our lakes right now, and I've only gotten to go twice.
Yeah, and that's the thing about, I literally the guy we talked to a couple weeks ago, Landon Bloomer from Angler. He said, I love fishing. I love to go. He said, but when you start a fishing company, you don't get to fish anymore.
It's true. It's true.
So,
you see those guys that are in the industry, and you see their pictures on Facebook and on Instagram of them fishing and holding big fish, and man, they are so lucky they get to be in the industry, but that's probably the one time in the month that they actually got to go.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm glad to be in a position I am, and you would be more than anybody to tell anybody, fishing leaves enough time for a side hustle. And I like making videos and fishing and stuff, so I have a lot of time to do that, but, I will be the first to tell you that, I'm proud to be a part of the JB's Fish Sauce team, not only because it works, but you're such a nice guy and you have a great business model. And I want to encourage everybody that's out there watching right now, go out and buy some. Again, if you're interested in trying some out, I got some in my boat that I'll, let you use gladly, or we'll go fishing in the summertime, and I'll show you this stuff does work. Matter of fact, pull up my YouTube channel, check out the Grayson tournament that Josh and I did. We done a 5-minute JB's Fish Sauce challenge where we didn't have JB's Fish Sauce on our baits, sprayed it on there, got 4 fish in 5 minutes, which is pretty amazing stuff. And it's all about. So, I guess, is there anything that you like to say about your product that we haven't talked about so far?
Man, I really don't. I never want to try and. I don't know that I'm necessarily a very good salesman, because I never want to force feed anything down anybody's throat. That's just not who I am. I'm not a spammer type of person. But if you want to give it a try, if you believe in scent and you're brand loyal, give it a try. You might be surprised. If not, let me know if you don't like it. I'll stand behind it and I'll give you your money back, man.
Wow, that's pretty amazing there. So guys, you heard it there. He says if you buy a bottle of them and don't like it, call him and he'll work it out with you, which is
or
amazing.
call one of us. So
Yeah, don't call him. I'll buy it off of
yeah,
him.
especially if you're local, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know it works, right?
Yeah.
We know it works.
I'm gonna make a return policy, and all returns will go to Tyler Waller and Josh Bryan.
There you go. We'll take them.
Yeah.
We'll take them.
Yeah, so, like I said, I want to tell you guys, and sorry about the video problem there, fellas, but, we're getting the information out there, but what I want to tell you guys is that, again, go out and buy a bottle, buy some paste, buy something, he sells sample bottles that are a lot smaller. If you just want to try them out and don't want to spend a lot of money, and guys, you can buy everything on his website and not going to spend a bunch of money. It's not like it's an absurd amount of money. You're getting one batch or, handmade batches from a fella, making it himself in a building out back of his house, in Minnesota. And he's
with 30 inches of ice.
Yeah, 30 inches of ice. And, it's
maybe a little, that might be a little much.
It's all right. If it's 6 inches, that's too much.
Yeah, hard water sucks.
Yeah.
I think actually 30 inches is right, but I'll test it next time I go out.
That's great.
And I think we're still making ice, too. I think it's still getting thicker at this point in the season, so...
You
so,
keep that up, or...
Yeah, we have a question here from a fellow that I know really well.
I wanted to ask if anybody had any questions.
Yeah, one of my buddies is a fishing guide on Lake Erie, trolls for walleye. Do you have anybody that uses your products trolling?
Well, trolling for walleyes, or just trolling in general, I've got a guide in Minnesota that uses my stuff. I would recommend bait fish or, again, the garlic. I have a friend that I grew up with that went out to Lake Erie that I sent him with some product, and they had great success also. I think they were using a bait fish also. The Lake Erie walleyes have responded well to my products. They hadn't had a ton of exposure. As far as trolling goes, I would also recommend a stick and putting that stick like on their spoons, not the spoons, I'm sorry. I'm such an idiot. The blades that they use for when they're trolling,
yeah.
I would recommend putting a stick on those blades. Just to kind of help that trail, and again, they either spray a little bait fish on whatever, even if they're using live bait, to spray a little something on there before they throw it out there. So I know a lot of guides out there on especially the salmon guys, the Great Lakes salmon guys are huge on scent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What I forgot to mention a minute ago that I wanted to make sure we put out there too is, guys, be ready when you spray this on your bait, because fish react differently on this bait. I mean, they absolutely try to kill whatever you're throwing. It's like, they bite, and another cool thing about it is that it causes the fish, in my opinion, to hold on that split second longer that will allow you to maybe catch a fish that you would have lost previously. Because we don't all feel those, those bites, and especially in water you're fishing. So that's one thing it does give me. So
a great opportunity we have. I've got Lake Minnetonka, right? We have my ice house, my research and development, which I've only been in twice. But we watch a lot how the fish react when we put stuff down there.
Yeah.
And there is, every single time I go there, we always have a pot of bluegill and stuff coming around, and you throw your bait down and you don't put anything on there with a wax worm and the jig, and they come, they suck it in, you catch a couple, no big deal. You drop it down, eventually they get used to you dropping stuff down. It's the same fish over and over. And then you apply some stuff on there, and I've been using the crawl and the black magic a lot the last couple times that I've gone. And there is a reaction that the same fish will come up and hit it over and over and over again. It's just really kind of crazy. It really, there is a marked reaction of the fish that's increased 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, that's why I use it. But Chuck, to answer your question there, I'm sure you heard it. But this summer, if you don't pick up any yourself, which I recommend you do, when I come up and fish, I'll bring some up and we'll just do a test, man. We'll make a video of it and see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll put JB's fish off on the baits on one side of your boat and then not on the other side, and then we'll just make it scientific, man. We'll see what happens.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And then make sure you're the one, Chuck, that's using it, not Tyler.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. And again, like I said, guys, you guys have any more questions out there before we get off the phone with Jim? And again, sorry that it's our fault. It's not anything on him. We had a technical issue, but we're getting through it here. So
we're good.
Yeah,
we'll do this again too, man.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely do it again when we get. We're gonna do. Like I said, we tested this last night, guys, and we done it just to make sure this didn't happen. And sure enough, it happened. But that's a cool. That's the thing about going live is if you're going live, you're gonna have stuff like this. But it looks like everybody doesn't have any questions there. Yeah, but James, I appreciate you coming on here with us for about 45 minutes or so, and just giving us a little bit of information about your life and your product, and you know. Again, I want to commend you on what you're doing, and definitely stick with it because I see that you're going to good things coming. One other question before I let you get off here. I know it's extremely expensive, but is there any marketing or looking into the future about going to ICAST or the Bassmaster Classic with JBs?
I would love to. Bassmaster Classic would be getting on the coattail of a retailer who already goes.
Yeah.
That would be the affordable approach. And then the ICAST thing is something that I have a savings on as part of my business. And when I get a chance, I put a little bit of money in there to be able to make that next step. I think I'm still probably a couple, 2 or 3 years away from that, unfortunately, because I think what I have now would actually do really well there.
Yeah.
But the cost associated with getting there,
it's astronomical
and whatnot, it's pretty expensive, and I'm doing this without dipping into my family coffer. I'm not, I don't want to take anything away from my family with this business. So everything I make, everything that is done stays within the business, and so eventually we'll not be operating in the red, but I'll be able to save up and continue to save to be able to make ICAST. So yes, those are my goals, man. That would be huge, wouldn't it? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
And I'm going to throw this out there that I'm at ICAST and Bassmaster Classic every year, so when that happens, I'll be there outside your brother. Just let me know.
Man, I can't wait. It could be quicker than we know, too. If this year is really good, we could make that leap here before we know it. So I think we're on the right path. I know that.
Yeah, for sure. So, again, before we get you off there, guys, this is James Block from JB's Fish Sauce. Go to jbsfishsauce.com. Again, if you're interested in trying it, message me or Josh. There might be an incentive for that. We might be able to help you out with a little bit of the cost for the first time just to get your foot in the door. And then after that, you're on your own because, but no, seriously, let us know. We can definitely get you hooked up. Jim's a cool guy. Email him if you have any questions. Hit him up on Facebook. He's always available. So, actually, I should say you should probably message Morgan Tifton first.
There.
Morgan who? I've never even heard her.
Yeah.
Very careful, James.
Again, guys, go out and get you a bottle of water. If you want something that my favorite, the 4-ounce mist garlic is a good place to get your foot wet. And you heard that come out of the man's mouth. The number one seller is the crawfish, so buy them both and do your own research. And you're not going to. It's not going to be money wasted. You're going to use it. One thing he said, it does, don't leave in your boat in the garage or whatever it is, heat sensitive, even more than a candle. It's pliable. It's meant to be that way. So take care of your stuff. But you will see an increased catch ratio and hookup ratio. And if you don't, you're doing something wrong because I've used it for 2 years now, and I definitely caught more fish and saw an up in all of my fishing endeavors since I've been using it. So go out there and get you some. Again, message us if you're interested in maybe trying some at a little discounted price. Make sure you message us. But after that, we'll get you in on it. And, we're looking to the year of 2018, see what's coming for JB's. And hopefully by this time next year, we can have a lot more testimonials of people that saw this. And they'll be, in the same boat I am, ready to buy more.
I sure hope so. They'll see why not.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for having me on, Tyler and Josh. You guys have a great show going on, man. I'm excited to be a part of it. So.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, brother, I appreciate it. I will catch you around, and next time we'll get some video.
You betcha.
All right, see you, brother.
What's going on, Aaron? How you doing, buddy?
All right, thanks, Josh.
Thank you, James.
All right, so again, sorry guys, that was James Block from JB's Fish Sauce. Go out to jbsfishsauce.com and get your hands on some of that. You're going to want to, trust me. If you're not fishing JB's, you are at a disadvantage, and I'm going to tell you that right now. Because if you don't buy it, personally, I want you to buy it, but personally, I don't care if you do or not. Because if I'm fishing against you with JB's, I'm catching more fish than you.
Aaron Strickland said, "What's up?" He's late. That's all right, man.
What's up, Aaron? That's all right.
You doing any fishing? Been on the river any? Seen a striper the other day with somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, let's show, before we get off here, let's throw up a few pictures of people sent us in.
Yeah, so let's do that.
We can see them.
So the very first image we're going to bring in here is, let's figure out which one we're going to bring in first. And those are going to be, we'll bring in a couple here from Tyler Akers. One is a big old bass here, and it looks like it was caught in a farm pond.
Yeah, it's a farm pond.
So here is a giant fish from Tyler Akers, man. This is a nice bass. Look at that thing. Probably that thing is. It looks like it's spawned out. This thing's probably a 6-pounder, and any other day, probably at least 5 in that picture, if not more.
What do you got to think, man? Tyler's a good sized guy.
Tyler's a big old cat. So that thing right there, it could be a 6-pounder. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a nice bass.
Yeah, it's a super nice bass. So, all right, let's. So that was one picture. He actually sent us in another one, which is another pretty good fish. And I think it actually might have been caught in the same pond. I'm not sure. So you can see it there. That's a pretty good sized fish there too. It might be the same pond. It kind of looks like the same pond on the other end of it. One thing that I want to talk to you guys about really quick that people don't know, is that when you take a photo with an iPhone or an Android phone, it actually puts meta tags on there. And that if you're taking a picture of somebody and you blur out all the information, you send that to their buddies, there's actually software that you can put it into that will give you GPS locations for where they're standing.
That's scary.
Where they're standing when they caught that fish. So those of you guys that take a picture of a big fish and blur out your background, it doesn't help. Not to say I'm doing that, but somebody could do that for sure. Definitely. So that was a fish there, another by Tyler Akers. You got Ben here with another really good fish here. This actually was a Grayson bass, and it actually won the whole tournament, I think.
Yeah. See, that's when you got to say it's more impressive. That's a Grayson bass.
Well, the thing about
Grayson, actually, the 2 biggest bass this year in the Pedro Bass Club came from Grayson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, though, you have, Ben here caught this really good bass there at Grayson, and it's a really, really good bass. But the thing about Grayson is that you can catch big bass like this, but it's all about when you're there. Like, I personally have caught some giants out of there. One of the biggest bass, actually the biggest bass in my entire life, was caught in Grayson, and it was almost 6 pounds. I haven't been anywhere outside of here for big largemouth. Larry Slack has me talked into going to Douglas Lake. Says there's some giants down there. I'm thinking about going down over the spring break or St. Clair, depending on the weather. I'm going somewhere. So that picture there is.
I head north.
You think I'm going? Well, if there's a foot of snow up there,
that's true.
I'm not going up that way. So, that's one thing I'm looking at. So that was Ben Mullins Jr. there, who is the president of the Pedro Bass Club.
Senior.
Huh?
His boy's senior.
Okay.
He's a senior. I think.
No, he's the junior. His dad will be the senior.
No, his dad's name's Albert.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, sorry, Ben Mullins Sr. I got you rested up there, or messed up. So here is a picture that Josh caught there in St. Clair. Speaking of St. Clair, when you talk about St. Clair, there you have giant smallmouth. Aaron Strickland knows all about it. And Larry says I should go to Douglas. I'm thinking about taking you up on that, man. I have a very old truck. I have a 2002 Chevy 1500. Wow, you've seen it. I've been down there at your work several times with it. I'm worried that I can't pull my boat through the mountains and make it back. That's my biggest thing. And I don't know the route down through there. I'm sure it's probably the same way as going. It's down there in the Smokies, so I don't know if it's that bad. Something you can let me know. But this is a fish that he caught in St. Clair. So tell us a little bit about this fish.
Well, we went to St. Clair. Been going every year since about 2006 or 7, I think, is when I started going up there. My brother, who passed away in 2011, he begged me to go up, and I was always like, you don't want to go to them lakes. And finally, I went up there, and man, we had a ball. We caught fish after fish after fish, and I was hooked from then on out. And it's kind of like a family trip now for me, my dad, and my brother-in-law. And we'll show you a picture here. One of my brother-in-law caught, and this is probably, I don't know if it's hands down, but this is probably one of the best pictures that I've ever taken of somebody holding a fish. Man, the sun was behind us. We was up in a little cove, and you were catching some smallmouth, and just it brought out the bars, and it just looked beautiful, man. I mean, it just Tyler brings it up here, you want to understand, and it's just, I don't know, it just the sunlight hit it right. I don't know, it's twisted there, ain't it?
Yeah, let's see if I can flip it here.
Yeah, but no, I mean, this was probably about 3 pound, a little over 3, maybe 3.5, and but that right there, you see it there, and this is just, I don't know, man. My brother-in-law, he started joining, going up there with me and my dad, and that's my June family trip. We go up, and that trip means a lot more to me now, since my brother passed. But St. Clair will always hold a special place in my heart. If you've never been there, man, you guys go up with me. I love fishing. I've met people from Colorado and all over up there, and we actually helped this guy. They were having a little rough time, and I told him last day, I said, follow me and I'll put you on some fish. And him and his buddy followed me down there, and now we're lifelong friends. We text back and forth every so often, and he's a good dude. But he's had some family sickness that's affected him. He ain't been able to make it up. So, but it's a good time to go up there, and if you don't make a trip up, it's worth it. I mean, I've been to Okeechobee, but Guntersville, and personally, I'd rather go to St. Clair, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. Like, I like St. Clair. I love that. One of my favorite fisheries ever is Lake Erie. And speaking of Lake Erie, I'm going to show you some fish here that Chuck Dodson has caught over, I think it was last year before it. I've been lucky enough to go with Chuck. If you guys are interested in, chartering a walleye boat up there, I think you do perch too. If somebody wants to go, right, Chuck? You have to let me know.
This is the filet mignon of the Great Lakes, is what this guy in St. Clair told me. He
Perch?
said, they said that's, I'm not a big fish eater, but
yeah, perch is awesome. But my favorite eating fish is what's on the screen here, walleye. But if you want to get a hold of him, definitely try this. Chuck Dodson, he's the one commenting there. Great charter captain there on, actually he just took us out as fun fishermen, as friends there for a long time, and realized that he was really good at it. So he actually got his captain's license over the past couple years ago, I think, and now he is legitimately a charter captain. So if you want to get with him and go out and catch some walleye, you want to catch them for sure. So there is one.
He said it's better.
So may stop there. So let's pull up another picture here, and this is a huge picture.
Wow.
Of a fish. That's check out this bad boy. That's a walleye right there. That's a toad. That's probably giant walleye. Yeah. Straight Zona there on his butt. But yeah, I mean, that's Chuck there in the picture, obviously. But there a couple years ago, the ice stayed on the lake like 2 weeks or 3 weeks longer than it normally does, and when it thawed, they smashed the big ones, dude. I mean, it was all over the place. They were killing them like that. And he was sending me pictures like that, and it was making me super jealous. I was like, I gotta go back to Lake Erie and catch some walleye. And here's a picture of my dad, Kevin Markins, and let's see, there we go. So these are some fish that were caught on Chuck's boat there last year, and this is the type of fish that he catches on a daily basis. I mean, you're going to catch them. There's been several times that I've been out and we've stayed until we got our limit, and that's what it's all about. We're there to eat fish, trolling or whatever. But Vince Sheridan there on the right-hand side of that photo, he's hooked now. He's one of Chuck's customers, so he comes out and and helps us, or comes out and fishes with Chuck, and seems to enjoy it. So he would be a good one to definitely get a hold of. And let's see what other photos I've got here.
And also, if you guys, if you want, let's put your picture on here. Send us email, Facebook message, or whatever, and we'll add it in here so so everybody can see it. You know, that's what we want everybody to see. You know, it's all about having fun, seeing these fish, and you know, but make sure you include like a little story there so we know what's going on. That way we can talk about it.
Yep. So I'm going to add one of my favorite photos for this year, and that's this photo right here. And it is the biggest. This is one of the biggest fish I caught all year. This is a St. Clair bass. I love this picture and this bass because of those markings, man. Those are super cool. This thing was right at 5 pounds. One of the biggest smallmouths. Well, actually, the biggest smallmouth I'd ever caught up until that point of catching that fish there. But then a few casts later, hooked into this dude right here, and it is, you know, the biggest fish smallmouth I've ever caught in my life. It was like 5 pounds 4 ounces, which is pretty amazing there. Misty ended up catching a 4.5 pounder too, which is another good time for St. Clair. But again, like I said, we're going back in spring break. I'm going to the St. Clair or Douglas, one of the two.
Aaron said he's going to hopefully have some pictures next show. He might be heading somewhere warm.
There you go.
And he said, yes, St. Clair is unbelievable fishery. Hey, Terry, good to see you on here, buddy. Sorry I missed you up there today. I left work. But, guys, make sure you hit up Terry at Fast Signs over in Ashland. Good dude. Anything you need. Chuck says you can put his number out there, too, if you would like.
Okay. Let's see. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I'll put it here. Let's see if I can.
But guys, we appreciate everybody that's commented tonight. And if you got any more questions, make sure you guys send them to us. Or if you want to see something to talk about, whether it be a product review or anything, send us a message. And like I said, make sure you share. We're going to be giving away that.
You can. We're going to wait until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning Eastern Standard Time. So as many times as you share this video, whether you shared it before or you share it again, you share it 20 times, you're going to be entering yourself in 20 times. I have no problem with that. We're going to give that thing away. It is a Hoorag seamless bandana in their classic camo. Those of you guys interested in getting a hold of Chuck Dodson, his cell phone number is 419-295-4744. Again, 419-295-4744. Get a hold of him, tell him you've seen us here, you saw him on Fishing with Tyler, and he will take you out, and you will have one heck of a time. Supplies all the rods, you know, and you know, the only thing you got to bring is stuff that you want to eat and drink, and you know, and it's a really good price for a charter boat, and you'll never meet a nicer guy, and he can catch them, man. I tell you what. So I guess that's pretty much
Terry putting his number out there. Yeah, that's Terry's number there, guys. If you got any questions, where do I get the JB? I'll try it. JB'sFishSauce.com. Hey, Aaron, send me or Tyler private message.
Shoot me a message, and we have a one-time discount code, but you have to message us, and I'll give it to you. Get you a pretty substantial little bit off there, so you can have it try it out. But I'm telling you, JB's is the real stuff, man. You'll like it.
Stuff, man. It's good. I didn't, Tyler, you know, when we was talking about fishing and we was fishing with it, and I was like, man, what is that? And every time I put it on, it made me want spaghetti or lasagna or something. It made me hungry, you know, but James said it ain't no good on garlic bread, so that kind of ruins it for me now.
Yeah. So guys, I appreciate you sticking around again. JB'sFishSauce.com. If you're interested in trying it, message me. I can give you a product code that'll get you a discount for sure, and give us a one-time code. So you know, we don't get anything out of it. Obviously, that you're getting all the benefit. You're just going to tell James that you saw us here, Fishing with Tyler or Josh, one of the two. If you have Instagram or know somebody that does, follow me. My name is @Fishing with Tyler. There you can see it on the bottom of the screen, and Josh's is @Buckeye Fisherman. There on the bottom of the screen as well. If you guys want to see something covered on the next show, which will be, let me make sure that this is correct. The next show will be February 8th. That's where we're going again. So this is a bi-weekly show every 2 weeks. If you want to see something in a topic cover, we're going to talk about hooks and lines for sure. We're going to get more in depth with that in detail. Those of you guys that are just joining with us, if you go back to the very beginning of this, when we stopped this, you can see pretty much all the information about GoPros you ever wanted to know, 1 hour's worth of it. If you have any information and you want to get more information about GoPros, message myself or Josh, and we'll get you in that way. One quick thing about it is we're going to mention here our sponsors again. Make sure you guys are going checking out not only JB's, but check out Fast Signs of Nashville, Kentucky, G. Loomis, Shimano, Ohio Furnace Beard Company, Jackal, Power Pro, JB's Fish Sauce again, the Rod Glove, who's a new sponsor, Power Pro, again Shimano, Solar Bat Sunglasses is a new sponsor, Stormer, the Tackle Box in South Point, Ohio, T&H Marine, Woo Tungsten. So go out and check out some of those guys, and Angler, Columbia Sportswear. Those are the guys. If we have built a team of sponsors that we believe in, and those things work. If you're looking to get any kind of signs or any kind of embroidery done, check out Terry Dillon at Fast Signs of Nashville. His number is in the comments there, so definitely contact him and let him know what you need. He will get you taken care of.
Right. Well, once again, we'd like to thank you for sticking around. Remember, if you got any more comments, send them over to us. And hopefully we'll see you guys in a couple weeks, February 8th. Send some pictures in. I know it's time, but if they are from past year, we'll take them. And Aaron, if you get out, make sure you send them to us. And, we'll get you on here and let you know, let everybody see. It's like I said, it's all about you guys. And that's what we want to bring to you. So we appreciate you sticking around. Until next time.
Line's tight. Guys, stay on another line.
See you guys. Have a good one.